Hi, welcome to another coding session with Rune. Today I'm going to give a very basic introduction to using a hash map in Rust. So let's just start coding. So we want to create a hash map. Say our use case is we want to associate labels to points on the map. So you might start off with creating a point structure, which will be just very, very simple, which will just contain X and Y. And you want a label, which we'll just redefine as strings. Now we want to create a an hash map, right? So let point map equals hash map new. So this might be your first instinct to just go for this, right? We need type annotations, which makes sense, right? We need to know what is our key type and what is our value type, right? What value do we want to associate to what kind of keys? So we'll do that by using the turbofish. We say we want to give it points and it will return point labels, right? That's going to be our hash map. So, well, it's done. This compiles, but we want to insert, right? So let's say we want to insert point. We can't. It doesn't find the function, right? And this might be a little unclear at first, but if you actually dive into the source code, it doesn't place any bounds on the key and value type at first, but it does expose different functions for different kinds of bounds. So for example, these functions right here, they are for every kind of KVS, but functions in this block here are where, I mean, you can already see it, where K has equals and hash, right? So that's what we need to do here. To get access to actually insert stuff, this point needs to derive that equals and hash, right? Now we can't derive equals without deriving partial equals. And in a second, I'll explain what all of this means. But for now, put this above your struct. It's the least you'll need to actually insert your point. Let's create a point, right? Let's put that point equals point. Just type in some random stuff. Okay, so I got a point. We want to insert a point label. So we do insert point dot, and then create a new point label. So my label. Okay, now obviously we're inserting. This is a very mutable function, so we need to actually mark the hash map as mutable. So this works. We can insert stuff in a hash map, and we can get stuff back from the hash map by using, well, .get. So we get. So say we want to get back the label, we would type something like this, and now either the hash map finds it or doesn't find it, right? So if it doesn't find it, let's just panic, label not found. And if we do find the label, then we can say some label, and then we can print it. Right? The problem is inserting into a hash map consumes the, it moves the value, right? So point here is moved into this variable, which is then moved into this function. So we cannot access it past the function. But no worries. We can just create a new one, which is going to be your use case, right? You want to compare like new data that comes in and see if it already has like labels in, right? Or for fast lookup, some guy types in a point, you're going to look it up, it's going to be new structure. So essentially it doesn't matter, right? It does it by reference, so we need to give the reference, and then this is our final code. So this is how you use a hash map. Now, what is this stuff right here? Essentially, this is some extra code that tells the hash map how to compute a hash for the point. And a hash is essentially just an ID, right? So a hash turns a complex object into a number, and a hash map is a smart algorithm that can use that number to quickly look up data associated to that. So what a hash map does in this insert is it actually turns your point that you give it into a single number, use that number in a clever algorithm to retrieve the point label, right? And either it finds it, or either it doesn't find it, or it finds it, and you can do some stuff using a match statement. So, I mean, that's the basics of using a hash map in Rust.